Hey there everybody, Sage Popham here, founder of the School of Evolutionary Herbalism. And last week I shot a video talking about this concept of ecological physiology and being able to understand the reflection between the human body and nature and ecosystems, right? And kind of juxtaposing that to more of a mechanistic understanding of how our bodies function. And it got me to thinking about just the practice of herbal medicine in and of itself, and the importance of balancing our studies and our work as herbalists, right? It's really easy when we get into herbal medicine to get really excited about the plants, right? I mean, obviously we're herbalists, right? So we love plants and we love going out into nature and we like harvesting the plants and growing the plants and making medicine out of the plants and studying and learning about the plants. But what I've noticed with a lot of folks, especially those just getting into herbal medicine, is that it can be really easy to forget about the other half of the herbal medicine equation, right? Which is the people, right? That as herbalists, our ultimate goal is to help people, right? Is to bring the healing power of the plants to the people. And I always say that the herbalist, to me, the ecological function of the herbalist is to be a bridge between the earth and the world, between the botanical kingdom and the human kingdom. And in order for us to effectively be that bridge, we have to have a foot in both worlds, right? We got to have one foot in the plant world and one foot in the human world. And it's one thing to know about the plants and learn about the plants and harvest them and make medicine, but what's all of it for, right? What is all of our knowledge and our understanding, or all the medicines that we make and all the medicines that we grow, what's it all for if we're not going to actually know how to give it to people, right? That the learning about the plants is only one half of the picture, right? Of the equation, that we have to know as much about people as we do about the plants. And to me, this is a critical element of herbal medicine that is very commonly overlooked and is incredibly necessary, right? I mean, I can remember when I first started practicing as an herbalist over 10 years ago, that it became very clear to me how important knowing how to work with people is, right? Knowing how to do a good intake and interview, knowing how to ask people the right questions so that you get all of the information that you need in order to select the appropriate remedies, right? That you have an understanding of their constitution, right? The overall makeup of their body. They have an understanding of the organ systems, right? How the organs function, what happens to them when they become dysfunctional, right? That you're able to translate between the symptoms that someone is having and relate that back to what's going on within the organs and the tissues of the body. And being able to learn how to assess those things, right? Being able to learn how to understand the core patterns of what someone is going through, so that then we can translate that over to the plants that we all know and love so much. And this is a really, really important aspect of herbal medicine, and ultimately requires us to broaden our knowledge, broaden our understanding, right? That we can't get so tunnel visioned in on the plants that we forget about the people that we're going to give them to. And I think there's different layers to being an herbalist, right? We've got a lot of different levels of that, different scales of the practicing herbalist, right? A lot of us get into plants because maybe we've got something going on in our own bodies that we need help with, right? And we don't want to take a conventional approach. We'd rather work with the medicines of the earth, right? Maybe some of us have a calling to be of service to our families. I know a lot of herbalists that get into plants because they have kids, right? And they don't want to take their kids to the doctor and pump them full of a bunch of antibiotics and vaccines, and so they turn to the plants. Maybe you have a calling to be of service to your greater community, right? Maybe you want to help your family and your friends, your greater community. Or maybe you're a practicing physician, right? An ND, an MD, an acupuncturist, right? Maybe you want to get more to that clinical level where you're seeing clients and seeing patients on a consistent basis. Whatever level of or scale of herbalist that you'd like to become or that you currently are, I believe regardless of that scale, there is a critically important facet to understanding the people that you're going to give the plants to. And as I said, there's a lot of layers to that, from knowing how to interface and interact with people, knowing how to get all of the information that you need, because you have this framework, this knowledge, this understanding of the plants. Well, we need a framework, a knowledge, and an understanding of the people so that we can translate between the two, so that you can see what is the root issue of what's going on with this person, and then being able to translate that or bridge that over to the plants that you work with so that you can give them the right remedy that is not just going to suppress their symptom or take their symptom away, but it's actually going to get to the root cause of the problem. And from my perspective, that root of the problem, it might be in the body, it might be in the mind, it might be in the emotions, it might even be on the level of the soul. And from my approach to herbal medicine, and some may disagree with me on this, some may not practice in this way, and that's totally okay. But from my orientation, that these herbal medicines have the ability to affect us on all of these levels, that plants don't just affect us on a physical level in our body, right? But they have an effect on our mind. They have an effect on our emotions. They have an effect on our soul, that they have this ability to catalyze our spiritual transformation. Because from an alchemical perspective of the world, the mind and the emotions and the body and the soul, these aren't separate things, right? These are all integral facets of the wholeness of who we are. And the practice of true holistic herbalism, from my perspective, is using the whole plant to treat the whole person, body, energy, and the spiritual side as well. And so that is the model that I propose in the evolutionary herbalism dynamic, and that is the healing that I really believe is important for the world at this time, because I see humanity has sickness that is beyond our physical bodies, that a pill may not get to the root of that problem. And again, I don't mean to speak ill of allopathic medicine, biochemical medicine. It all has its place. Everything has its place. Biomedicine has saved my life multiple times, right? Maybe it has for you too. But I believe that the herbal medicines have this ability to heal us. It's not just a belief. To me, this is a truth, that herbal medicines have this ability to facilitate in this deeper level of transformational healing that I think is incredibly needed on the earth at this time. So I just wanted to share that with you all because it's something that's been on my mind lately, and it's kind of a theme that I see amongst a lot of herbalists, that there's this kind of neglect or misunderstanding or just lack of awareness around the importance of really taking the time, the effort, the energy, the discipline and commitment to really understand the human organism to the level of depth that we want to understand our plants. So if you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button if there's anyone you know that loves plants as well. Leave me a comment, leave me a question in the comment section below. I always appreciate and love to hear the feedback. And I really hope that you get some perspective on this, right? And maybe start to consider deepening in your studies of people so that you can be ultimately a more effective herbalist, right? Because this is the type of healing that I see is so needed at this time. And I believe the world needs more herbalists. The world needs more people to step up and to provide the healing that people need, and to be that bridge between the world and the earth, the plants and the people. So thanks so much for checking out this latest issue of the blog here. And until next time, take care and be well.